This may look like an indecipherable mess.
Let's try and put those pieces together.
But to a hacker,
let's follow this a little bit further.
It's a treasure map.
I can actually put the page back together,
guiding them right to the information.
Watch this.
You value most.
We just make assumptions that we have security from end to end. Typically, we do not.
Matt Curtin is a computer security expert and consultant with InterHack. He agreed to show us just how easy it is for the bad guys to lure you into a tempting Wi-Fi trap.
That's frightening.
I played the role of his unsuspecting victim, connecting a laptop to an unsecure Wi-Fi network he created called Free Wi-Fi. A few clicks and I was online, searching my Facebook and Twitter accounts. All the while, our bad guy is seeing it all through a language he'll decipher later.
Not just the search history, but everything.
In Curtin's 20 years of experience, he says part of the reason this can happen to people so easily is because they've been conditioned to ignore the warnings.
The process of using a computer for many people is a little bit like playing whack-a-mole. It's like a game where the objective is to make the pop-ups go away as fast as possible.
To show how easy it is to reel unsuspecting people in,
people love free stuff.
Yep.
We got in a car.
What could you be doing to them right now?
And brought our free Wi-Fi hotspot with us. Apparently, others did too.
This is ours, free Wi-Fi. There's another one called free internet. We have another one called instant internet.
In our case, it took minutes before we started getting bites.
Oh, you got another customer.
Our hotspot didn't connect people to the internet.
And our customer has disappeared.
But what if it did connect?
We could be observing anything that they're sending back and forth.
Remember all those indecipherable letters and numbers he took from me earlier? Well, a hacker will take those and then sift through them, looking for things like your username, your password, vital information. Basically, who you are.
Check this out.
Curtin is now reconstructing my browsing session.
Here's an example of where going to abc6onyourside.com.
He then shows me how he pieces the puzzle together and recreates what I saw online.
Wow. And there it is.
This is an image I clicked on while browsing our station's website.
So here's where you start talking to Facebook, yeah.
And Curtin says hackers may not get your username to secure sites like your bank, for instance, but if they're able to see enough of your time online, they may be able to crack the code.
Don't be in too much of a hurry.
To protect yourself, Curtin says simply stay away from unsecure Wi-Fi networks and take it slow while you're logged on, because you might never know who's watching at the other end.
Coming in hot!
In any sport, patience is paramount. Knowing when to strike, invaluable. But in every game, no matter what the arena, no amount of skill or protection
I'm about to wheel it!
can slay a menace lurking around every collision.
Oh, he got me! That was big though.
And every fall.
That was the biggest one.
It was constant headaches for weeks upon weeks.
Thomas Worthington High School senior Nick Hiley remembers his first concussion well. It happened playing football freshman year.
I had neck spasms, really couldn't move my neck either way. Tunnel vision where your peripheral vision was almost blurred.
This isn't your ankle. It's not something you can just tape it up and play through. And you know, over the last couple of years, it's become the #1 diagnosis that we see in our offices.
Dr. Stephen Cuff says a helmet may protect your skull, but your brain is different.
Think of the yolk inside of this egg as your brain. This glass, your skull. Even if you cover it with something like a helmet, if there's a big impact, your brain is still going to be moving back and forth against your skull.
So companies like Shockbox are focusing on the next best thing, early detection.
Once an impact is detected, they can actually prevent them going back out onto the field concussed.
The company sells $150 sensors that are placed on top of an athlete's helmet.
Ready?
So when that bone-jarring hit happens, it measures the amount of gravitational or G-force it produced.
You gotta come way harder, Jack.
Clinically, a lot of the research has shown that the range for concussions is somewhere between 70 and 100 G.
To give you an idea of just how much force it would take, we put a melon inside of the helmet to serve as a head. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. After we dropped the helmet, the sensor in the phone went off and highlighted in orange, meaning that trainers and coaches need to check on that player for a potential concussion.
It gives them another tool in their toolbox to assist in the concussion problem.
I was thrilled to see something like that out there because, again, these boys they think they're invincible.
Local mom Mary Lynn Buster has 2 boys who play impact sports. Her oldest suffered a bad concussion playing hockey.
It's sketchy turning on these freaking blades, man.
Hockey is a very expensive sport, but again, how can we not take that one extra step to protect them?
And while early detection is important, proper treatment after is vital.
Sometimes, they'll clear up within a couple hours or a couple days. Oftentimes, especially in teenagers and even younger patients, it's not uncommon for them to last for weeks or sometimes even months, especially if they're not treated properly.
So Dr. Cuff says taking physical and mental breaks are key, which is not always an easy sell to teens.
It was not fun.
Nick Hiley needed to sit out several months before he was cleared to return from his first concussion.
You may feel like, oh, you can play through it and they'll go away, but your headaches will not go away.
And I think that the children need to also be told this is okay. If you get hit, there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm hurt and here's what my symptoms are. It doesn't mean you're less of a tough guy. It doesn't mean that you're not as strong.
Oh yeah! Thanks to more education and new technology,
We were beating them.
it isn't as easy for concussions to skate around unchecked. But experts agree the battle is far from over.
I gave him $740.
Down payment to Damon Alexander to replace the transmission in her car. 3 weeks later, when Shamir Poitras picked up her wheels at Alexander's friend's house, she blew a gasket.
My transmission was missing. My tires was off. It was just in pieces.
The transmission was completely out.
The transmission was completely gone.
Poitras found Alexander on Craigslist. He claims to be a professional mobile mechanic with 15 years experience.
I was trying to catch something, cheaper.
Poitras figured she could save a few bucks hiring Alexander.
It's a little bit of a job.
Instead of taking her car to an auto repair shop. In the end, though, she wound up paying Columbus Transmission thousands of dollars to clean up this mechanic's mess.
$3,400. Because not only the transmission, he messed up some wheel bearings, and my car's still messed up. My muffler's real loud now. He really tore my car up.
Poitras says Alexander never paid for those damages or returned that $740. So she filed this complaint with police.
Gave the car back without the transmission.
We were there when Alexander was arraigned at Franklin County Municipal Court.
Damon Alexander, felony 5 theft.
Alexander can duck our cameras, but he can't hide from the facts. Fact, Alexander is not an ASE certified mechanic as he claims in his Craigslist ad. Fact, Alexander doesn't own or work at any auto repair shop. Fact, Shamir Poitras isn't the only customer this crooked mobile mechanic ran over. Meet Jill Cooper.
I needed ball joints and struts and sway bars.
How much money did you give him?
$708 to be exact.
$700. What did he do for the money?
Absolutely nothing.
Lynette Mallory Smith hired Alexander to replace the brakes and rotors in her car. How much did he charge you?
$500.
For a brake job?
Yes.
Did he fix it?
No, he didn't.
Then there's Jessica Stevenson.
He's a scumbag.
Stevenson paid Alexander $430 down to fix her truck.
He was supposed to change the back rotors. He was supposed to reconnect an ABS light, take a look at the windows, flush the transmission, replace the driver's side TV joint.
Stevenson says Alexander picked up the truck at her home. An hour later, this nurse got an emergency telephone call.
Police was calling me because my car was getting impounded because he got arrested.
State of Ohio, this is Damon Alexander.
Which brings us right back to where we started, this courtroom.
Damon Alexander, felony 5 theft.
As fate would have it, Alexander was arrested on an open warrant in the case of Shamir Poitras. It's not the first time he's been in trouble with the law, though. Not even close. Since 1993, he's been arrested at least 31 times for various crimes and traffic violations. He's also done prison time. Twice, 5 years for receiving stolen property, abduction, theft, and breaking and entering. And another year for receiving stolen property.
Stay away from Shamir Owen Falls.
Soon, a grand jury will decide if Alexander will be charged in the case of Shamir Poitras. Meantime, he's back on Craigslist looking for work. We decided to make an appointment.
Are you available this afternoon?
Our producer told Alexander her car wasn't starting. In reality, we simply replaced the fuse that runs the fuel pump with a bad one.
Yep, great car.
Alexander showed up the following day.
Alex, hi.
Oh, you scared the... Woo, Lord, how you doing?
He looked over our car.
This is a fairly new car.
And then gave our producer some bad news.
What is it?
Needs a fuel pump.
It needs a fuel pump?
It's not even running.
But there's nothing wrong with this fuel pump. It's just a bad fuse that Alexander never checked. Time to have a chat with this mobile mechanic. Damon Alexander, Tom Susi, ABC 6. How are you?
Oh, man, you scared.
Can we talk?
No,
Why not?
Say.
Alexander quickly jumps behind the wheel of his car. What are you doing? What he's doing is breaking the law. Again. According to Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicles, Alexander hasn't had a valid driver's license since 1998. Since 1991, he's been convicted of driving without a license or driving under suspension 14 times. Sir, you don't even have a valid driver's license. You're not supposed to be driving, and you're ripping people off.
What do you think should happen to this guy?
I think that he should go to jail, and I think he should pay restitution.